Hello everyone and welcome to the Weinberg Library Digital Lab training videos. Today I'd like to show you how to make a first-time reservation for our Digitization Lab. We do require reservations for the lab, and we ask that you make those reservations at least 3 business days in advance. Reservations can be made on our website, so the first thing you'll want to do is get there. The URL is flwlib.org, or you can Google us, Frank L. Weinberg Library, and it should be the first result that comes up. You want to make sure you're on the red and white page, so the home page should look like this. If you see a blue and white page, that means you're on the catalog, and that is not the right place to be. You want to be here. First thing you'll want to do is mouse over your library near the top of the screen. That opens up this menu, and you can see there's a Digitization Lab section here. You can click on About the Lab to learn about the lab and what sort of materials it can digitize. Click on Instructional Videos to see training videos for each of the materials you can digitize. Click here to learn about protocols and specific rules for using the lab. Basically, anyone with a Monarch System library card with no blocks and no fines over $10 is eligible to use the lab. If you're outside of the Monarch library system, you can come into the Weinberg Library and get a library card from us, and then you'll be able to use the lab no problem. And then finally, there's a link here to the reservations page. And this is what you'll want to click on to go ahead and reserve the lab for the first and subsequent times. Clicking that link will take you here. In the middle of the screen, there's a description of the lab, including links to the protocols and some other information about how the lab was created. On the right-hand side, you'll see some information about the lab, including the address, contact information in case you need to ask any questions, the hours of availability, and then how to make a reservation outside of the normal hours of availability. So typically the lab is available Monday through Friday, and it opens a half hour after the library does and closes at 5 o'clock. On Saturdays, it's open, again, half an hour after the library opens at 9 a.m., so at 9:30, and then it closes at 3 p.m. Sundays, the lab is technically listed as closed, but if you need to come in on a Sunday or during an evening, so from 5:30 to 7 o'clock, or on Sunday from 12:30 to 3 o'clock, you can send an email to our reference email address, and we can see if we can fit you in outside of our normal hours. Now at the bottom of the screen, you'll see an availability calendar. This lists the upcoming dates for this particular week, but you can also toggle it between the entire month or just one day. And you can use the arrows at the top of the calendar to toggle between different weeks. You can see it's pretty well booked up for the rest of February when I'm recording this. But basically you would toggle forward until you see a date that works for you. And even though there's a little banner at the top that says closed on each of these days, all that means is that the lab is unavailable specifically from 9 a.m. to 9:30, which makes sense because, as we established earlier, the lab is only open starting half an hour after the building does. So if you decided you wanted to make a reservation for Monday the 28th of February, you would just click on that day, and that opens up this window. It's confirming here that I'm reserving the lab on the 28th of February from 9:30 a.m. to, again, the 28th of February, 5 o'clock p.m. The system will only allow you to make reservations for the entire day, but that doesn't mean you have to get here at 9:30, and it doesn't mean you have to stay until 5. You can come in anytime between 9:30 and 5 o'clock and stay as late as you need to, as long as you're out of the room by 5 o'clock p.m. Next, you'll click on Check Availability and Continue. And now you're going to be prompted to sign in, and the account you're signing in with is actually not your library card. This is a separate account that you would only already have if you've ever reserved our Tolsman community room or our conference room. So our website is powered by a company called Civic Plus, and as part of using their appointment software, we have to require that people make an account with Civic Plus to sign in and officially make their reservation. So again, unless you've ever used our Tolsman room, you would not have an existing account if this is the first time you're using the lab. So you're going to click on Create an Account, and now you'll be walked through the steps of making the account. So you'll put in your email address, your first and last name, and your phone number. Then you'll make up a password following the guidelines that they have here. So at least 8 characters. including both letters and numbers. And then once you've filled all of these boxes out, you'll go ahead and click on Create Account. Once you've clicked Create Account, you'll see a confirmation page, and you're going to get an email at the email address that you put in here. So next, you'll want to go to that email address, so it might be Gmail, might be Yahoo, might be Outlook, and look for an email from Civic Plus with a confirmation link. Once you click on that confirmation link, you'll be brought back to our website, and then you can go back to the reservation page, select the date you want, and go ahead and log into your account. So I wanted to do the 28th, and now that I have an account, I'm going to toggle back to it. Here it is, February 28th. I'll click on 9:30. Clicking anywhere in this white space will close the calendar here. Yep, the 28th, 9:30 to 5, that looks right. So I'll say check availability and continue. And now that I have a Civic Plus account, I can click on existing account and put in my information that I've used to make the account. So I have an email address, and then I made up a password, which I'll type in now, and then I'll say sign in. Now that I've successfully signed in, I've been taken to the new reservation form. In the event name slot, you can put in anything that you want. Most folks just say private event, or they'll say digitizing, or maybe what material they're working with. It really doesn't matter what's in here. What matters is what you tell us on the rest of this form. So you don't have to put anything in the event details unless you're sending us a particular note about something that you're working with. So you might say something like, I'm bringing in a camcorder because I don't have a VHS tape or a VHS-C tape. I have High 8 or one of those other little camcorder cassettes. This is where you would put that sort of note in. Next, your first and last name and your email address should auto-populate, but you'll put in your phone number. You can choose to list the event as private on the calendar. Then tell us your home address, your library card number. That way we can make sure that your account is up to date. And next, you're going to check the boxes for the materials that you're working with. Usually what we recommend is that if folks are working with multiple things, they do one thing at a time. So if you know you have VHS tapes, slides, and 8mm film to work with, you might consider just bringing in the VHS tapes the first time, or the slides, or the 8mm, to kind of get a sense of how everything's going to work. Now down here there's a few different disclaimers which I'm going to talk about separately, but you would want to agree to all of these disclaimers and then finally click Submit. Once you've submitted your reservation, you'll see a confirmation screen letting you know that the reservation went through. You will also, within the next 24 hours, receive a confirmation email from us letting you know that you're all set and you can feel free to come in on the day that you reserved. If you don't receive that email within 24 hours, do call us. You can reach us at the number at the top of the page here, and we'll go in and make sure that the reservation went through. We don't want you to lose your slot just because of technical weirdness. So make sure you get that confirmation email, and if you don't, give us a call and make sure that everything came through okay. While you're waiting to come in for your reservation, the next thing to do would be to watch the training videos for the materials you signed up for. So under your library near the top of the screen, and then under Digitization Lab, you'll click on Instructional Videos. And these are all about 5-minute long videos for each of the different materials that we can digitize in the lab. So if you have 8mm, film negative, and VHS stuff at home, you'll want to watch each of those videos whenever you decide to come in and go ahead and digitize them. They're all uploaded on YouTube, so you just click play and watch. They're also all saved on the computers in the Digitization Lab. So make sure you watch them before you come in. But once you're in, you can reference them at any time. We also have written instructions in the lab. And if you need help with a specific part of the process, we're happy to come in and give you a hand. We just kind of expect you to run your own show while you're in the lab, so we can help with individual steps. But hopefully by watching these videos, you'll have a sense at least of what's expected of you when you're in the room. On the actual day of your reservation, you'll want to come to the adult info desk. Bring with you your library card and a flash drive. We're going to check the room out to you on your library card, just like any other material from the library. And then you'll use your flash drive to save the materials that you digitize. And that is the reservation overview. If you have questions, please feel free to get in touch with us, and then we can give you a hand with any part of this process.